Hi guys, and welcome to this developer review of Monomi Park, the studio behind Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher is a very cartoony, very happy, very cute game which was released on Steam Early Access on the 14th of January this year. It already has a 96% overwhelmingly positive rating, so it's obvious a lot of people like the game. But what about the developer studio behind it? Should they be trusted? Do they have a good track record? Should you consider supporting them as they carry on building Slime Rancher? That's what this review is all about. So let's look at Monomi Park, the company behind Slime Rancher, and see if they're worth a positive or a negative rating. The first rating is for community interaction. How often do you see the devs on the forums? Do they answer questions? Do they treat their community in a positive manner, or are they dismissive of the people who have bought their game? Now, Slime Rancher has had a very good release. There's a lot of questions on the forums, a lot of activity, and it's a very small team behind the game. So it stands to reason that Monomi Park are going to have a lot of difficulties answering all the questions, which normally would result in quite a negative rating for community interaction. However, they've done something very smart. They've appointed at least one community moderator, somebody who is free from working on the game and who is very knowledgeable about the game and who can help out answering those questions. Now, just one thing I want to mention here. If you're a developer and you have a choice of spending 10 hours a day working on your game or 5 hours a day working on your game and 5 answering community questions, you're going to choose the 10 hours working on the game, because at the end of the day, the people who bought the game want you to do that. But it always leaves that vacuum, and that's why I'm really quite impressed that they've appointed this community moderator, and I hope that they appoint more. It's for that reason I'm awarding them a rating of B. Even though the devs themselves are not seen that often on the forums, when they are seen, their answers are very good, and in their stead there is Heather, who can answer most questions anyway. On top of all that, they're actually quite a positive place to be. They're a constructive set of forums both on Steam and on their own website, and that's the reason why they have a positive B rating. The next rating is for development speed. How often are new updates released? How much content is contained within those updates? And do the developers let the community know in advance what's coming down the pipeline? Now, before I get to that, I just want to explain one major advantage that Slime Rancher has over many other games. It's single player only. This means that when Monomi Park release an update, they don't have to worry about a server build, uploading that build to their servers, taking the servers down, installing, restarting the servers, checking the servers. There's a whole bunch of work they don't have to do. When you upload a build to Steam, you run the Steamworks batch file, it uploads that to Steam itself, it does a little bit of DRM as well if you've got that activated, and then once it's uploaded to Steam, to make it live you simply switch it to the default branch. Monomi Park have obviously taken full advantage of this. Between December 16th and today, which is January 25th, they've released 5 updates and 2 bug fixes. That's an incredible amount of updates in a short period of time. Now granted, some of them had very little content, but some of them had quite a lot, and they brought the game forward. It's worth noting that a number of those updates were brought out over the Christmas New Year period, so it's plain that Monomi Park have worked through the Christmas and New Year period to get Slime Rancher into as good a condition as possible for its Steam Early Access release, and that's a strategy that's obviously paid off very well for them. Another strategy that's paid off very well for them is the fact that the basics of Slime Rancher are more or less done. The underlying code which is required to make the game work, the game loops, a lot of the features are in there, even the basics such as how you control and move around with your character is all pretty much done. And if you look at the roadmap which they've got on their forums, you'll see that most of it revolves around adding new content, new areas, a lot of slime, that kind of thing. It's not really about the basics of the game. They're done, and that is something fundamental that they have also got very, very right, because when you launch on Steam Early Access, you want the people who are playing the game to have the best fun, the most enjoyment, and to get a really good sense of what your game is. By concentrating from now on pretty much on content, because the features are mostly done, that means they can rapidly expand the things that you can do with Slime Rancher. They're not worried about the deep technical stuff that needs to be done. What they're concerned about is adding more fun, and that's a great thing that they've done. They worked for 2 years or so prior to releasing on Steam Early Access to make sure that Slime Rancher was as good as it could be. This is probably the third time I'm saying this in this review. That strategy has clearly paid off. So for those reasons, I'm giving a development speed rating of B. The third rating is development clarity. How clear are the developers on what's coming down the pipe in terms of a roadmap? Have they given an estimated time to finish the project, and is that potentially accurate? Do they have a public Trello board or even a Google Docs sheet where they share what they're working on right now and how far each individual task has progressed? Now, in terms of Monomi Park, they also get another good rating for this. One of the things that really impresses me about them is that they've given a long-term roadmap. Now, on their Steam Early Access page, they have said that they expect the game to be completed towards the end of 2016. And on their own forums, they've put up a long-term development roadmap which shows what they expect in Major Release 3, Major Release 4 and potentially Major Release 5 and beyond. Now, a lot of these features are content, which comes back to what I said earlier about the fact that the underlying game is more or less complete. A very good sign. And they've listed, as I said, a long-term development roadmap so the community can see what's expected to come. The community knows that, well, this game is expected to be completed by about the end of 2016. So, okay, we can judge what they promised and we can judge how fast that they are releasing that. And that gives us a very good metric to test out Monomi Park and just how accurate they are. Based on these factors, they are doing a very good job, but there's just one area that I'd like to see more, and quite often with smaller developers they don't do this, and that would be something either a public Trello board or a Google Docs sheet that shows the current tasks. Now, this is great from the point of view of showing in depth what happens within a development studio and who's doing what. It's also great for the community to be able to provide feedback. Now, that's not to say that the community should drive development, because that just should not happen. With the greatest will in the world, the community, very few people within the community have ever been within a professional development studio. And the pressures and the things that you have to do are often invisible to the community, and the community just simply doesn't know. But it's nice for the community to be able to see, hey, okay, so we're going to be getting this new type of slime or this new type of feature, or the jetpack's going to be doubled in its ability and its speed, that kind of thing. And the community can provide feedback on that, and that feedback can be very useful for a developer. So I've taken off 1 point for the lack of that, but on the scale of A to E, Monomi Park also rates a B for their development clarity. The final rating is developer honesty. Have they ever lied? Have they been caught out in a lie? Have they ever said, well, this update's coming out on December 20th and doesn't actually appear until March 15th the next year, without any kind of explanation? Have they given what seems to be a reasonably accurate time for when the game will be complete? And what claims have they made about the game? For example, if it's a small game, which might only be 10 minutes long at the moment, is that made clear within the Steam Early Access page? I can do nothing here but praise Monomi Park for their honesty with their community. They've been clear where the game is today. They even say that their Linux build is unstable, clearly on the front of the Steam Early Access page. They give a strong indication of where the game's going and when it's going to get there. And certainly, as far as I can tell from looking through their forums, they've never lied. They've been honest all of the time. For all those reasons, I want to give Monomi Park an A rating for their honesty. Monomi Park have made an incredible start with Slime Rancher on Steam Early Access. It's almost a perfect beginning for them, a 96% positivity rating. That's incredible. They've done a fantastic job and it shows. If I could define my perfect small indie development studio, Monomi Park will be very close to that. Yes, they fall down in a few areas, but those areas aren't major areas. They're an honest developer. They've given information out about where the game is. They're clear on where the development is going. They've given as much information as they can. Their speed is very fast in terms of the number of updates they bring out. They've got a mod on the community answering questions as and where possible. It's clear that they're putting everything they've got into this game. It's clear that they've laid the groundwork in advance and done an incredible amount of work. For all those reasons and more, I'm going to award Monomi Park a very, very strong positive rating. These are the kinds of developers that Valve should have coming through Greenlight, getting onto Steam Early Access. And personally, I'd like to wish the guys at Monomi Park all the best for Slime Rancher. The game itself is fun, might not be everyone's cup of tea, colourful, cartoony, squeak squeak kind of things. You know, normally I don't play that kind of thing, but I've streamed Slime Rancher, I've had a lot of fun, and it is that kind of game where if you've had a crap day at the office or a terrible day at school, come home, fire it up for half an hour, you'll have a smile on your face at the end of it. So, good luck to Monomi Park. Good luck to Slime Rancher. I hope you guys continue your success story, and please continue doing exactly what you've been doing. That's it for this developer review. As always, enjoy your gaming. Take care.